Orange Shirt Day, also known as the National Day for Truth and Reconciliation, is a day of crucial importance to the entire country and to Lambton College itself. Like a lot of people at this college, I've dedicated my career to education. For too long, I was able to take for granted that education was always a good thing, a great thing, an open door. But there's a quote from Maya Angelou that says, "When you know better, do better." And I do know better. For 150,000 Indigenous children, education was not an open door. It was a door slammed shut on culture, connection, family, and community. For those children, education was institutionalized abuse, neglect, and forced assimilation. And for as many as 25 to 30,000 Indigenous children, education was a death sentence. When we talk about the residential school system, we refer to it as history. But for innumerable Indigenous people, education is the cause of trauma that remains today. It still impacts families and communities, and it still echoes within the walls of Lambton College. It shouldn't take survivors sharing their truths and their trauma for the rest of us to know that genocide was committed. It shouldn't take the discovery of hundreds of unmarked graves to believe survivors. I imagine on a day like today, many of us are wondering what we can do. As settlers, how can we help create a better path forward? I ask you to understand the magnitude and depth of damage that has been done by the 150 years of the residential school system. I also ask for your humility to value Indigenous ways of knowing and being across all subjects. We need to acknowledge that what we've always believed wasn't necessarily complete. It takes humility to know that we don't know everything and to allow ourselves and others to unlearn and relearn. And that's really essential here. Because what I really want to ask of you is to come with us as we continue down the path of truth and reconciliation at Lambton College. I give all the credit in the world to the Indigenous Education Department at Lambton College, the Indigenous Education Council, the Indigenous Student Council, and to the Indigenous community members on Lambton College boards and program advisory committees. There is so much to be proud of when it comes to Indigenous education at Lambton College. But as an institution, we have a long way to go. We need to know that and keep working towards it every day, whether we're wearing orange or we're not. In all likelihood, we will not achieve reconciliation in our lifetime. I acknowledge that. And yet I stand here full of hope. Because it is through education that we can make the changes that will outlive us. It is through education that we can build the foundation for a better way to live and learn for all. There will come a time when so much progress on truth and reconciliation has been made that Canada can go back to the beginning of treaty relationships. And when that time comes, our descendants will travel together in the river, side by side, but in their own boats, in friendship and peace together. As long as the grass is green, as long as the water runs downhill, as long as the sun rises in the east and sets in the west, and as long as our Mother Earth will last. That is what education can do.